Alright, so today we're going to be covering a protest by Stand Up to Racism, and they're basically saying that they're saying that refugees are welcome. They're not really refugees, they're illegal immigrants, and they're protesting the fact that the government wants to deport them to Rwanda and process them in that country so that they can't abscond while they're being protested, because that's what a lot of these illegal immigrants do, as we've seen from the supposedly refugee centres where they put them up in hotels. They just walk out of the hotels and just, go about their merry business, and nobody knows who these people are. They don't know their backgrounds because they ditch all their personal information when they come to these shores. They've got mobile phones when they come here, and they ditch their passports and everything. So why would people come into this country, who want to come to this country peacefully, ditch their passports? So they come to that little virtue signalling, as you can see. As you can see, it's an absolutely massive turnout for Stand Up to Racism. These are the people that would quite happily stand in front of police trying to do their job in deporting illegal immigrants. Not many ethnic minorities there, there's one. Look at the state of them. Doing their little bit of virtue signalling, and these people have turned up in Audis and really posh cars. So these are the type of people that uncontrolled illegal immigration isn't going to affect one little bit. I think that's the lady from the protest that told me to bugger off that time. Very nice young lady. I think I've been spotted again, but I don't care. See if we can get a reaction out of them. I've not approached them. These are the two ladies that turn up in that nice white Audi. That's it. Come and get your nice little virtue signals out. Yeah, they spotted me. Hi.
Do you want to come and join in with us, or are you taking?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm alright. I'm just covering the protest. That's alright.
In covering for who?
Myself.
Oh, why are you interested in them?
Yeah, I am. I'm concerned about illegal immigration, like many people are in this country.
So you're objecting to what's going on?
Yeah.
Here, then,
I think a lot of people are in the same boat as me.
well, I guess everybody's got an opinion, haven't
That's
they?
right,
So
that's fine, yes, fair enough,
everybody's
yeah,
entitled to their
exactly.
opinion.
They always come to me, they don't like being photographed. I'm going to do a little virtue signalling. Didn't approach them, they always approach me. That's it, they've done the little virtue signal. It's all over and done with. Just want to add, they advertised this 24 hours ago, They got about 11 likes on the thing. Kind of makes you wonder why they don't march around town and do this sort of thing. It's because they wouldn't get much support in the present climate, with fuel going through the roof, and you know, we have a social housing problem anyway, where people are on waiting lists for years, and these people just want to have more and more immigration coming in on this. You want to film me, you can go right ahead, you can film me all you like. Go all out in public, they're waving, they're in good spirits. You know, it's amazing how happy and cheerful they're about the destruction of our country. This is something I'm really strong about, and this is why I made the video yesterday about the homeless people, because these people forget about those people on the streets. They've been on the streets for 20 years, that aren't getting the help that they really need, and instead we're paying above and over 5 million a day for these illegal immigrants to stay in these immigration centres that are 4-star hotels, and we're paying for that, we, the taxpayer, at a time when we could have reduced tax. We're paying for uncontrolled illegal immigration, and that's it, they're going in now. So there wasn't much interaction there with these people. They came over, they had a look, asked me what I was doing. That's fair enough. Curious, and that's it. We're all done. Let's go outside. Let's try and like outside. Get them all in. Look, having a little virtue signal. So they love it. They love it. These are the people that this uncontrolled illegal immigration will never ever affect. They've come in. They're really posh cars and stuff to come and virtue signal about everything. This is why the Labour Party isn't for the working class anymore. It's a champagne socialist party. I mean, social housing affects working class people, and they're all for it. They want even more uncontrolled immigration. These people, crazy. Current climate, our infrastructure can't cope with our own population, and they just want to go ahead and just, you know, open the floodgates, really, to it all. They don't see the effects of it. That's the trouble. They'll virtue signal, but they don't see the effects of it. We've seen the horrific crimes that have been committed, the rapes in villages and stuff, the intimidation of the locals by people in these immigration centres, and they want more of it. So if you want people to blame, just take a look at them. This is who you need to blame. This is why your towns and cities are going to shit. We've got somebody else going now.
Yeah, you are, aren't you? The same bloke. I thought you were a different one.
Yeah, I'm the same guy.
What are you doing all this for? You wouldn't tell me last time.
Well, I don't need to tell you, do I?
No, of course you don't.
I'm out in public. I'm opposed, obviously, what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't believe in uncontrolled illegal immigration.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not far right or anything like that. Believe it or not, I've done far right rallies because I'm a centrist. I'm in the middle. All right. I'm neither left nor right. I've got a little bit of both, and I think that's the best place to be in these situations. And I think the extremes of both. I think the extremes of both can be dangerous, don't you?
No.
You don't.
The extremes of right-wing things can, yeah.
Yeah, but what about the extremes of left? Because they're obviously quite. I mean, if you look at the extremes of left, you look at communism. The extremes
but we haven't got communism here. In fact, to be honest, where have we got communism? North Korea.
North Korea, you've
China.
got it. Yeah, you've had it in Venezuela. It didn't quite go as well there, did it?
It's debatable. Communism won't go well.
Yeah, I think, but you can't deny that. You know, extremism on the left isn't bad as well, because you've got communism, 90 million dead. You know, so
And how many million dead from the far right? And America getting involved with everything and bombing
Zero.
the fuck out of
You're
everything.
looking at zero because they're a minority. They're a fringe movement.
No, I mean
You're looking at
America.
massive regimes over the years. 90 million dead. You can't dismiss that. I mean, I look at Hitler. Yeah, he's a really bad guy, but he's nothing compared to what Stalin did to his people.
Oh yes, Stalin was terrible.
yeah,
We
exactly.
accept
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But that's got you're
Yeah.
very far away from immigration. And
I don't think so. I don't
sending
think
people
in this present situation where we're just recovering from a pandemic and our infrastructure's pushing to the limit. Uncontrolled immigration is not a really good idea, is
We
it?
haven't got uncontrolled immigration.
We have.
In fact,
I
we're
mean,
in a right
I went
mess.
down to Dover and I was watching it myself, and they were landing uncontrollably. There was no border force. They were landing on the beach. We don't know where these people come from, do we?
Yeah, Calais.
Yeah, but we don't know where they come from after that, do we?
No, you mean before that?
Yeah, because a lot of them come across illegally on the dinghies. They ditch their identification.
I'll
Why
tell
they
you
do that, I
something
don't know.
else, what we have got coming in at the moment.
What?
You probably won't agree with me.
What?
We've got a lot of people coming from the Ukraine that are coming in under false pretences.
Oh, well, I'd agree with that as well. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
I can tell you
And
that for sure.
I think that's putting pressure on. Yeah, definitely, yeah. But at a time that we're in now, we're just recovering from this massive thing that we've just gone through. Taxes are going through the roof. We're in an energy crisis. We've got a fuel crisis.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have voted them in.
Hey.
Shouldn't have voted Brexit. Shouldn't have voted them in.
Well, it would have been even worse state if we hadn't voted for Brexit.
Rubbish.
Because the EU would have demanded that we take a lot more immigrants than we have currently.
We didn't, did we?
Yeah, exactly. Because we voted for Brexit.
No. Brexit was the worst thing this country
Why
could
was
have ever
Brexit?
done.
Why was
And
Brexit the worst thing we
people
could vote
voted
for?
Leave because they were fundamentally racist.
Who was?
People that voted leave.
So 17.4 million people are racist in this
Yeah,
country. Then
exactly.
I voted for
Leave.
Brexit,
Of course
but
you
I'm
did.
not. But I'm not a racist.
Of course you did.
How do
of
you-
course you are.
How am I a racist?
I
Do
bet
you know
are.
me? Do you know me?
No. Do
Well,
you
how
know
can you
me?
say I'm a racist then?
Because, for one thing, you voted for Brexit.
That's not racist. That's a democratic vote.
Rubbish. It wasn't actually a democratic vote. It was an advisory
How is it
referendum.
racism? How am I?
Because
Am I being
on what
racist?
basis? You already have told me that you don't like immigrants.
No, I don't like immigration.
You don't like immigration.
I don't like
Right, just
uncontrolled
stop there.
immigration.
You don't like immigration.
Yeah.
Right? You don't like immigration.
No, I don't like
And
uncontrolled
so that is
immigration.
why
I
you
agree.
voted
I agree.
Brexit.
In times of need, that we need some immigration, but it has to be controlled.
And what's these times of need then? Because it's looking pretty much like we want some at the
Well,
moment.
every
isn't it?
country needs a little bit of immigration, but at the minute it seems like the floodgates have been opened.
I don't know where you get these ideas from.
Well, I watched the news. I watch the world. I watch what's happening.
Stop watching the news maybe and do a bit more thinking.
I do a lot of thinking. I think maybe you should do a bit more thinking
No, I
about
actually-
how this country's struggling at the minute and how the people of this country are struggling at the minute.
And why? Why are they?
Because the energy crisis and the infrastructure, we've got very little
why-
social housing at the minute.
why-
So
yeah,
where are these people
yeah.
supposed to go? Are you willing to take a refugee in?
I haven't got the room to take a refugee.
Well, there you
I
go.
really, truthfully
So what
haven't.
happens then? These
What happens then?
they take up social housing that people in this country need. Yeah. Well,
Do you know what happens to asylum seekers when they come here?
yeah, I know what happens to them.
No,
Yeah.
what
yeah.
happens to them? You tell me.
Yeah. I used to.
Where-
I used to work in a refugee centre.
You did, and
Yeah.
you're doing this.
Yeah. Because I see the
You're
behind the
either-
scenes of it all.
You're either very misguided.
I'm not misguided at all. I'm
Yes,
just
you are.
informed.
No.
I'm just
you're
informed.
wrong. You're totally wrong.
Well, you came across here. You accused me of being a racist. You're wrong about that. Because I'm not a racist. I've never been a racist in my life.
Well, I would love to know. What
Do you want to know what I did? Do you want to know what I did for a living for 5 years?
Yeah, go on, tell
I
me.
lived in Iraq. I was protecting the people of Iraq
Right,
from the
you were in
Taliban.
the army.
No, I wasn't in the army. I was private security.
Leave it there. Leave it there. Say no more.
What? What's wrong with protecting people from the Taliban?
Absolute bollocks.
Absolute bollocks.
Yeah, absolute bollocks.
There you have it. That's what happens when you've...
There you have it. So carry on putting it on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you lose the argument, you just walk away. And that's what happens when the far left you try to debate with the far left. They call you a racist. They don't know you. And then you try and argue the points with them. They won't have it. So I was really respectful with these people. But you saw what happens. They immediately... Everybody that voted for Brexit was a racist. How can you say that? How can you say that about 17.4 million people and say that they're all racist? That's their go-to answer for everything. Well, if we can't debate you, we'll just call you racist and try and shut you down. unbelievable. And when I brought up the fact that when she was accusing me of racist, I was like trying to prove a point that I wasn't racist because, you know, I went to Iraq for 5 years, private security. I was over there doing close protection, protecting infrastructure workers, that's Iraqis, from the Taliban. And then she has the nerve to call me racist. And then she says, that's the problem. You were in the army, you're private, that's the problem. It's like, well, you didn't even give me an answer. You didn't even give me an answer to why that was a problem. You just walked off with your tail between your legs. Unbelievable. So I want to do a brief summary about the footage that I did in the video. I just want to say that I want to applaud the lady that first came up to me. She was very accommodating. She wanted me to go and join them. And I declined because I was doing my own thing. But I was appreciated that, you know, she wanted to include me in that. And she was very polite. She was very approachable. And, you know, we agreed to disagree on people having different opinions and stuff. And that's fine. That's how people should be. And that's how they should act. The second lady that came up, not so much. You could tell she was a hardliner. The way she was talking. And how she... Well, I'll bring up this subject first. The way that she completely dismissed the extremes on the left. She said, "Oh no, that you know." You can see from the video that you know she was quite happy with the extremes on the left, and she immediately went and like brought up the subject of the extremes on the right as a way of dismissing what the left had done, and that's no argument. It doesn't dismiss the fact that in Soviet Russia, 90 million people lost their lives because of communism. Far left extremism, because that's what communism is. It's the far left extremist leftist ideology. And the way she just dismissed that was just shocking to me. And then she pointed, they always do this, she pointed to far right extremism in America, which is negligible. It's near enough non-existent. The rarity of anybody being killed by far-right extremists in America is very, very rare. It's very rare in this country too. Well, we look at communism because it's still going on right now. There are still people dying because of communism today. That's how bad communism is. And I didn't even include other countries regarding how many deaths have been. We can look at Cuba. Cuba's got communism. And I bet they wouldn't want to bring that one up because they actively, you know, throw homosexual people into prison. That's not something that these people bring up because obviously they're woke. They're all for the LGBTQ movement and that sort of thing. So they're very quiet about Cuba. And it's very interesting that she didn't mention that one either. I brought up Venezuela because things really went tits up there when they tried to implement communism. People started to starve to death, so they were told to start eating their own pets, and that's communism for you. Anyway, I'm digressing, I'm going off topic. Anyway, the other subject she brought up, and this was very strange at the end, I thought, was when she called me a racist, and I was proving that I wasn't a racist because I told her that I did 5 years in Iraq as a private security officer doing close protection, protecting infrastructure workers from the Taliban. And she said that was bollocks. And I got a distinct impression she didn't like the British Army either. And that's just indicative of these people. They don't like our country. They don't like our culture. They hate us. They hate their own culture, these people. They're ridden with guilt about their culture and stuff like that for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But this is what extremists are like. They have extremist views about the world and themselves. And as I've proven, you cannot debate with extremists because the minute you like pull the rug from their legs with what they're saying, they just tottle off with their tail between their legs, and you know they just either call you a racist or just call it bollocks, and they're not interested in debating anymore. There's no middle ground with these people. There's never any middle ground with extremists because they can't see past their own dogma at all, and their own extremism, unfortunately. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Have a good one.